Everyone expected Uruguay to challenge for the World Cup. Instead, they became one of the tournament's biggest disappointments, a squad filled with elite players from Europe's biggest clubs, a legendary coach on the sidelines, and a group that looked more than manageable. Yet just a few days later, the dream was over, fans were left stunned, the dressing room was surrounded by controversy, and questions began to spread across the football world. How could a team with so much talent collapse? Before the knockout stage even began, the answer goes far beyond the results on the pitch. It is a story of pressure, broken trust, tactical battles, costly mistakes, and a team that slowly fell apart from within. This is the complete story of Uruguay's shocking World Cup collapse. Coming into the tournament, Uruguay looked like one of South America's strongest contenders. Their squad combined experience with youth, proven leaders with exciting rising stars, players competing every week for some of Europe's biggest clubs arrived in excellent form. Many analysts believe this team finally had the balance Uruguay had been searching for over the last decade. The expectations inside the country were enormous. Supporters believed reaching the quarterfinals was the minimum objective, while many dreamed of another historic run toward football's biggest prize. After all, Uruguay is not just another national team. It is one of football's greatest nations, a country with 2 World Cup trophies, countless legends, and a culture built around fighting until the very last whistle. Everything appeared ready for another memorable campaign. But appearances can be deceiving. Long before the opening match, small warning signs had already started appearing behind closed doors. Very few people noticed them. Soon, the entire world would. Uruguay's opening match was supposed to build confidence. Instead, it created doubt. The team struggled to control the tempo. Simple passes went astray. The attack lacked movement, and every opportunity seemed to disappear before becoming dangerous. The final result felt disappointing, but the performance worried fans even more. Instead of improving in the second match, new problems appeared. The defense looked uncertain. The midfield failed to create chances. The forwards became isolated. Every minute increased the pressure. Supporters expected a response. Instead, frustration continued to grow. By the time the final group game arrived, Uruguay had turned what should have been a comfortable qualification into a desperate survival mission. Suddenly, every mistake carried enormous consequences. Pressure affects every football team, but at the World Cup, it multiplies. Every decision becomes national news. Every substitution is questioned. Every missed chance follows a player forever. Inside the Uruguay camp, confidence slowly disappeared. Instead of playing naturally, players looked hesitant. Simple decisions became complicated. The team that normally played with freedom suddenly looked afraid to make mistakes. Football often becomes psychological before it becomes tactical. Once belief disappears, talent alone is rarely enough. As performances declined, attention naturally shifted toward the coaching staff. Marcelo Bielsa has always been respected as one of football's greatest tactical minds. His attacking philosophy has inspired coaches across generations, but his demanding methods have also created difficult relationships throughout his career. Training sessions are famously intense. His standards are extremely high. He asks every player to sacrifice everything for the system. When results are positive, players embrace those demands. When victories disappear, every decision becomes controversial. Reports soon began suggesting that not everyone inside the squad agreed with the direction of the team. Whether every rumor was accurate or not, one thing became obvious: the unity that successful World Cup teams need simply wasn't visible anymore. Football matches are often decided by tiny details. Uruguay struggled with those details throughout the tournament. The pressing lacked coordination. The defensive line occasionally became exposed. The midfield couldn't consistently control possession. The attack created fewer clear chances than expected. Opponents quickly recognized these weaknesses. Instead of fearing Uruguay, they became increasingly confident. Every match followed a similar pattern. Uruguay enjoyed moments of possession, but possession rarely became dangerous opportunities. Without goals, frustration continued to grow. Every World Cup includes unforgettable mistakes. Unfortunately for Uruguay, several of them arrived at the worst possible moments. A misplaced pass, a missed opportunity, poor positioning, defensive confusion. Small errors gradually became decisive moments. The goalkeeper faced criticism, defenders lost confidence, Midfielders became cautious, forwards started forcing difficult shots. Instead of solving problems together, every player appeared to carry the weight individually. That only made the situation worse. As elimination became a real possibility, emotions completely took over, body language changed, players argued more frequently, heads dropped after missed chances, frustration replaced belief. Football history has shown countless times that united teams often outperform more talented opponents. Uruguay experienced the opposite. On paper, they possessed superior quality. On the field, they rarely looked connected. Every setback made recovery even harder. The decisive match represented one final opportunity, 90 minutes to save an entire tournament. The opening stages offered hope. Uruguay competed with energy. The intensity was there. The desire was obvious. But football is often decided inside both penalty areas. One costly defensive moment changed everything. Suddenly, Uruguay found themselves chasing the game. Time became their greatest enemy. The urgency increased. The attacks became rushed. The passes became predictable. Despite throwing players forward, clear opportunities remained limited. As the clock continued ticking, belief slowly disappeared. When the final whistle finally arrived, reality became impossible to escape. Uruguay had been eliminated. One of football's proudest nations was heading home far earlier than anyone expected. Many people searched for one simple explanation, but football rarely works that way. This collapse wasn't caused by a single mistake. It was the combination of many different problems: tactical uncertainty, growing pressure, individual mistakes, missed opportunities, questions surrounding leadership, a visible lack of confidence. Each issue alone might have been manageable. Together, they became impossible to overcome. World Cups punish even the smallest weaknesses. Uruguay brought too many. For Uruguay, this tournament will remain one of the most painful chapters in recent football history, not because they lacked talent, not because they faced impossible opponents, but because they never became the team everyone believed they could be. Sometimes football isn't decided by the biggest stars, it isn't decided by expensive transfers, and it isn't decided by reputation. It is decided by unity, confidence, discipline, and performing under the greatest pressure. Uruguay had all the ingredients to create another unforgettable World Cup story. Instead, they became one of its biggest disappointments. The biggest question now is simple: can this generation recover from such a painful failure, or will this tournament be remembered as the moment everything began to fall apart? Let me know your opinion in the comments. Who deserves the most blame for Uruguay's World Cup exit? The players, the coach, or both? If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more in-depth football documentaries covering the biggest stories from the 2026 World Cup, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next episode.